What was ruined by rich people? Collecting in the past few years, the price of little collectibles and things of that sort have gone insanely high. Cards, action figures, you name it. Just look up any sub for a hobby and you'll see people dropping your entire salary in one day. There used to be a really nice big park in the center of the city where I live. Everyone would go there. It was a nice open space. Take your kids, take your dogs, enjoy the fresh air. Then some people from the rich part of town along the edges of the park decided they didn't like the noise coming from the park and pulled some bullshit to buy it out and walled it off so you couldn't go to the park unless you lived in that specific neighborhood anymore. The worst part is a ton of money was spent when they first bought it building it up, adding fountains and children's play areas and redoing the flower beds, and then no money or attention was given to it again and the whole place fell into disrepair. So now even if you live in the neighborhood you can't go there because everything is falling apart and overgrown. So the assholes took the really nice park from everyone else and then neglected it until it became a shithole in the middle of the city. I stopped going to professional sports because I can only afford shitty seats. Not worth the effort anymore. Old school ski mountains with family vibes and stoner lifties rocking to music. We always watch those silly ski patrol movies about the big corporations coming in and making them yuppieville, and then it happened. Clothing brands. Carhartt, Dickies, Levi's, and many more. Like, why did a Dickies t-shirt go from $15 to almost $40 in a few years? Concerts. Theme parks. Gone are the days when everyone was equal and you all had to queue, regardless of your income. And even until recently some theme parks gave fast passes periodically throughout the day. Now if you've got deep pockets you can queue jump, making your day a little better and everyone else's a little worse. Being poor. I can't even be homeless without trying to fight for a camping spot. Thrift stores. I used to thrift a lot and found it got ruined right when that damn Macklemore song came out. It's like he told everyone a secret. I used to be able to go thrifting and come back with like 3 new work shirts and a pair of pants for like $15. Good clothes too, some with the tag still on it. After that damn song, good luck finding my size at all. The clothes that were left were all shit, and they want $10 for a shirt now. The housing market. Burning Man was the first thing I thought of. When Mark Zuckerberg is helicoptering in to stay in a billionaire camp with air-conditioned mobile homes, Burning Man has lost whatever counterculture standing it had. 80s and 90s cars. The market is super hot right now and all the rich guys are buying them up. Sorta like 50s and 60s cars in the 90s. Cheap and simple dishes. Ramen, tacos, sushi. Now everything's gotta be labeled premium only to taste the exact same. If not, worse. Food trucks used to be a way to get good food for cheap. Now it's a premium without any of the advantages of a restaurant. Not to mention that they all expect a 20% tip for handing you food from a window. Any hobby where there's potential profit. Now you've got dickheads like the Logan Paul ruining Pokemon cards. Not because they're into them because they like Pokemon, but because they read the stories about the rare cards and just hammered their endless piles of cash into getting everything. Same with those asshole sheiks with massive comic book collections. They don't give a fuck about comics. They just collect popular valuable stuff. Everything really. Mofos have more money than common sense and jack up the prices for the rest of us. Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, all of them. Rich people see land, water, or places that they can get a lot for a little and buy it up, price everyone out, and then locals no longer can afford to be there or want to be there since most of them are insufferable. It's such a shame what state the world is in that respect. Instagram. When it first launched, we were content to post pic of our average sandwich that we made at home. Or a mundane selfie. Nothing major. Studies show that since the wealthy started sharing their lives on IG, our collective standard of living changed. We're exposed to yacht parties, expertly organized and color-coded walk-in closets, high-end facials, and party-planned gender reveals. We've elevated our expectations for everything. So many things, but I'll say trucks. Once upon a time, a humble working-class vehicle for people who need to be able to do things themselves, now they're all luxury vehicles with massive margins, unaffordable to anyone who needs them to do real work. Nerd paraphernalia like Star Wars or Marvel DC stuff. Used to be just a fun hobby for kids and kids at heart, now it's almost totally purchased by richer, dedicated speculators solely for profit. I'm going to just say it, as it's the season Christmas. Corporations really did a number on Christmas. Plastic junkie decorating starting as early as Halloween, really dated irritating songs playing in every store starting November, all the consuming and now this buy gifts for yourself narrative. The more you can ignore all this, the more meaningful the holidays are. Hockey. The equipment is now super expensive, and ice time fees are becoming exorbitant. This isn't even getting into levels of play. If you want to have a shot at the NHL, then your family better be able to fork over $20,000 to $30,000 for AAA prep schools or the like, because Tier I junior teams and Major Junior, which are the leagues that the NHL scouts only select from AAA leagues. The economies and well-being of natives of a crap ton of islands. I'm talking Hawaii, places in the Caribbean, etc., becoming economically dependent on tourist culture that is created and ultimately profited on by rich foreigners sucks. PPL can argue about whether or not their trip to these places are helping the economy or not, but what's undeniable is that the people creating these tourist economies don't give a single shit about the natives as they bulldoze through sacred sites and native neighborhoods in order to hand out culturally inaccurate hula skirts at 3-star hotels. Video games. They found a way to sell unfinished games while also maximizing microtransactions in some.